Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody that is thinking about you during a no contact phase and realizing how much they miss seeing you. I feel for many of you, there's in particular a desire to hear your laugh or see you laugh. But there's also an acknowledgement that they had some things they needed to work on. We have I am recovering, as well as like I get that we have different values. Maybe you were raised in very different cultures or backgrounds or belief systems, but there's this gap between the two of you that makes it sometimes difficult to communicate through arguments or misunderstandings. And I think maybe both of you have questioned maybe we're just too different and this would never work out because of, the things that we view so differently. But this recovery is something that they're hopeful is going to change that for, a future chapter between the two of you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. It's wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. And then right below that, you can also find a link that will explain the 3 different tiers that I have for my membership. Let's dive in with the Love Oracle, and we'll get a little bit more detail on what kind of emotions or energy this person is experiencing. Let's see. Chasing, broken, and past life. There's definitely a lot of toxic energy, and I feel like it's what they're used to. So you may have been raised in a more peaceful environment or had more like unconditional love in your family. And this person is perhaps even a little bit jealous of that, but they struggle to deal with some of those things that happened to them in that family life situation. There's patterns from that time that get repeated in this person's life. They may not entirely understand why. There could be some self-sabotage that happens with this person. Yeah, but it's traced back to this person's family and whether or not there was a sense of security. There were unpredictable emotions or arguments that got out of hand that shaped how this person views romance or how people interact with each other. This is why they found love in general to be kind of a shallow promise or something that would never really amount to anything they wanted. This upbringing or lack of a loving environment as they were growing up did also kind of make this person struggle in terms of understanding people in an empathic way or like seeing things from other people's perspectives. They may also be bored quite often. Let's see. This is the Mystical Cat Tarot. What else do we have? The 10 of Sky or the 10 of Swords in the reverse, the 5 of Sea or 5 of Cups in the reverse, and the World. All 3 of these are positive. Even though we have 2 in the reverse, these are cards you want to see in the reverse, to be honest. 10 of Swords, it can talk about betrayal, disappointment, endings. And sometimes you need those endings in order to be able to pursue the beginnings that you desire, right? But 10 of Swords in the reverse can specifically refer to recovery. And we had somebody who says, I'm recovering. And they're doing so in part because they're able to let go of something in their past. Five of Cups is in the reverse because they are no longer stuck in this energy thinking about what happened. Instead, they're realizing that there's a lot more out there for them to enjoy, more for them to experience, and maybe even reasons for them to change how they see people, how they see love. Five of Fire or Five of Wands, Sky Kitten or the Page of Swords, and the Chariot. I mean, this is kind of charming because it feels to me like you fought with this person or you gave this person a piece of your mind, but it's the kitten, right? This talks about communication. Pages talk about communication. And it's like you know how to deliver difficult messages. I know this is going to sting, so I'm going to say it in a way that demonstrates that I'm only telling you this because I care about you, right? But even if I know that you care about me and that's why you said it, we have somebody here who felt like they needed to like run away. You called them out on something and it made them feel uncomfortable, but sometimes that's a very important part of healing. You got to feel uncomfortable. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Bitchy Tata. How's it going? So we have the cat, which is in this deck, the Fool. The Fool talks about new beginnings. This is someone who has acknowledged that they were stuck because of how they viewed things, that their mental state or that their view of the situation needed to be updated, or it was an obstacle to them getting what they wanted. They're taking a different approach now. It's like they acknowledged that they had carried this really heavy baggage with them through their entire life because it had been given to them by their family, and that prevented them from connecting to people. That kept them stranded, isolated. But they're not letting that happen anymore. I think you gave them motivation to leave that behind. You're the ice cream truck bell going off in the distance that makes this cat want to leave the safety, relative safety, of the known, the current, right? You're calling them to change behaviors, leave behind bad routines and choose a better life. It's not a very easy choice to make because it's one choice that also needs to be followed by like 100 additional small choices to support that, right? So we have the Sea Kitten or the Page of Cups in the reverse. I miss seeing you. And because I miss seeing you, I'm going to do what I need to do to be able to see you. You are the ice cream truck bell. Hello, Key Controller. What's going on? So we have the the Priestess. Oh, and the Empress in the reverse. And the Seven of Sky or Seven of Swords in the reverse. Yeah. They see you as very wise. They see you as very perceptive. You understood things about this person that no one did. You might have shocked or surprised them by speaking to those things, right? I've noticed this about you, or you seem like the kind of person that likes this, or maybe you don't want that. And it may just be that you were extremely observant, or it may be that you saw a little piece of yourself in this person. Either way, you made them feel understood in a way that they had never felt understood before. and validated that some of the things that they'd been yearning for, compassion, companionship, were not unreasonable requests. You started to kind of activate this person's heart, or you started to thaw out that frozen heart and get them to question why they always ran away from this kind of thing. Get them to question why they haven't tried to make changes that would make their life better. Because I do think they've been like holding back, or maybe even, forgive me for saying it, a little bit lazy regarding the things that they had power over. We all have varying levels of power, but we all also have energy, and it's about how you spend that currency, energy, to get what you want. This person was not leveraging the power they had or the control they had over their own life to better their situation until somebody gave them reason. It was you. They see you as their other half. Yin and yang. You showed them what was missing from their life, and they can't forget it. And now they're seeing angel numbers everywhere. Things that make them think of you are popping up. Maybe they hear your name when it seems a little bit odd. There's a lot of synchronicities that are making this individual feel like they have to take a step back and really think about it, because they can be very impatient. They can jump to conclusions. They can make decisions before they really evaluate the situation. But something about you makes them feel like they need to stop and think about this. Because I don't know if they've ever felt safe, which kind of breaks my heart, until they met you. Something about you gave them a space where they felt like they were comfortable. It has a lot to do with the fact that you actually wanted to get to know who this person was, or that you saw through certain masks they might wear. We do have the evil eye card, which talks about protection. I'm going to go ahead and say that you did something, if you're cognizant or not, but you did something to protect this person. For some of you, it's as simple as showing that unconditional love to this person emboldened them to love themselves, taught them that they deserve to be loved. And that led to better decisions for themselves. Others of you took a more direct approach and were able to maybe even share your story, or provide some guidance that inspired them to reconsider what they thought was going to be the rest of their life. Maybe I should work on these changes. Maybe I should go through, some spiritual awakening. So they've challenged themselves, or they've accepted the challenge, because they know what it is to be loved by you. That's deep. All right, let's see. This is the Gypsy Oracle. What else do we have? Hey, Voyager. Hey, Louise, how you doing? We have the Merchant and Prison in the reverse. I feel like this is somebody who's packing up their stuff. The Merchant technically talks about buying and selling, right? Business. This could also suggest that who you're dealing with was much more comfortable focusing on their career, focusing on business, their bag, right? I need to make money. I need to feel that kind of security, because I don't know that I can really trust another person. So I'll trust myself, and I'll trust Benjamin Franklin. That'll work. But this person didn't expect to then feel lonely. I think that was maybe a feeling you taught them to understand after they met you, right? I'm not going to lie, for some of you, we have a person who has changed their life in like the nick of time to avoid some legal consequences. Their desire to do right by their life, it leads them to make different plans. And if they had kept the plans they had, they may have had some pretty serious consequences. We have room and gift. It's like I'm too busy trying to work on saving up money to get into trouble. I'm too busy trying to work on my fitness to, party all the time. There's a focus on the prize, right? This gift to me, it's like eyes on the prize. I know I could get caught up in that. I know I could probably get distracted by them. But you know what? I don't got time for that. I'm working, okay? Which makes me think of Ash Nico, if you've never heard Working Bitch. I hope that's been going well, Voyager. Sweetheart in the reverse and Soldier. Sometimes I look at emotions like they are languages. If someone who only speaks Swedish were standing next to me, I might be able to get across some basic elements, but I would not be able to have a meaningful conversation with that person. And that's how this individual felt.